Please put your hands together for David Rostad.
Okay, I grew my hair and beard out just to be Jerry Garcia tonight. I usually have much shorter hair and a lot less facial hair. So I am in costume, kind of. Pressure. My life, I'm very happy to tell you, has been incredibly blessed in so many different ways. 61 years of life, hey? Right? 61, that's pretty good. From the standpoint of pressure, different jobs and different activities that I've been involved in throughout my life. When I was in my mid-20s, I worked with bulls. Dairy bulls, Holstein bulls, 2,800-pound bulls on a very, very close basis. I mean, like, you know, a few feet. I have been charged at by dairy bulls and slipped behind the bars of a corral in just moments to avoid having their massive skull hit that metal tubing and not me. I was a pastor for 30 years, and as a pastor, I was involved in life and death decisions from the time I was about 26 years old. I helped families make decisions about whether or not they were going to take people off of life support, and that was incredibly intense and a great deal of pressure. The funny thing about pressure is in those kind of situations, you don't really notice it in the moment. You notice it as an after effect. And I've had many traumatic kind of events that have created the pressurized after effect of those events. But I got to tell you that the most pressure I have ever felt in my entire life was not in all these life-threatening situations. I've had people come after me with guns and threaten to shoot me. I've had people pull knives on me and tell me they were going to kill me. I've had people, and this is all in pastoral ministry, mind you. I've broken up family squabbles where I didn't know who was going to attack me from one side or the other. But the most pressure, two situations that I have felt the most pressure in. Number one was in 5th grade with Mr. Stevens, the band instructor. And when I had to go and play my saxophone for 1 hour a week alone in front of him, it was the most pressure I have ever felt, except this. I am slightly on the scale of this disability called dyscalculia. Now, I'm sure you have all heard about, the idea of people who have problems with reading. I have problems with numbers. I can remember every word that you say to me in a conversation verbatim. I have the ability to read a book, and if you ask me about a subject, my mind does an index file, and it goes through the book that I've read, the page that it's on, and the paragraph that it's in. But in numbers, I am lost. And so the two things that were the most difficult for me were, number one, being called to the blackboard by the algebra teacher to do an equation in front of the whole class. That was the scariest thing in the entire world. The second thing has to do with numbers as well, and it had to do with this. When you were in grade school, here's what you did. You went to at least my grade school, you went to the grade school, you went to your hallway, and when you came into the hallway in winter and you hung up your coat, you did what? You hung it on a hook in the hallway. And then all of a sudden you were going to middle school, and they gave you a lock with numbers on it. And you had to memorize that stupid combination. You had to memorize 3 turns to the right to number 8, 2 turns to the left to number 42, 3, whatever it was. And my biggest fear was always that I would forget my locker combination because they only gave you 3 minutes in between classes, right? And it was so scary to me because I could never remember it. When I got older, when I had a bicycle lock, I bought one that had letters on it because I could remember letters as opposed to numbers. And so the difficulty for me and the most pressure I experienced, even to this day, has to do with numbers. It's the thing I avoid the most. So when it comes to balancing a checkbook, I'm like, I got money in there. When it comes to writing down a serial number in my occupation that I'm involved in now, I have to be very meticulous to get it down just right. When I write down a price quote to somebody, I have to make sure that I am totally conscious of what's going on with that regard. And so, to me, the scariest, most pressure-oriented thing in my entire life is numbers. Now, I know that there are people out there who are going, numbers are pretty, oh, thank you, please be empathetic with me. I hate numbers. I hate them. But I discovered something once, my freshman year in college. And my freshman year in college, I took a philosophy of logic course. Thoughts, ideas, perspectives in a mathematical formula. And for the very first time, I'm studying the philosophy of logic, and all of a sudden I went, damn, why didn't somebody teach me this in 3rd grade? Because then I would have understood numbers. Thank you.